All right, guys, it's Mark from partsflyers.com. Today we're taking another look at the Traxxas Minimax. Now, this has been one of the most popular and best-selling cars for the holiday season. Usually when you have high Christmas sales, the sales usually taper off as you go into the new year. For this car, the sales are steady. Everybody seems to love this car. Now, a lot of content creators gave this car initially a bad review. They said they can't recommend it, and people didn't listen. Everybody bought one. So they were wrong. Content creators, the way that they actually destroy this car is funny because they actually did that by putting a motor and speed control that's way too powerful for the car. Now you're going to tell me that Traxxas promotes this motor. They have it on their website. It's an optional upgrade for this car. That's fine. It doesn't change the fact that it's the wrong motor and speed control for the car. My goal in putting cars together is basically fun factor. Fun factor is when a car basically will reach a speed and it'll be at the edge of its handling capability, right at that edge, a little bit over it, maybe a dot over that edge. That's what makes a car exciting. When you overpower a car and it's way past its handling, it's not fun. You give throttle, it flips on its lid. You give throttle, it spins out. You give throttle, it's just way too unwieldy, uncontrollable. So in my opinion, those initial reviews were a waste of time. They wasted everybody's time because they were misleading. It's made by people that really don't know what they're doing. They're not in the hobby business. They're in the entertainment business. They're basically content creators looking for clicks and sensationalism and a nice catchy title. Whatever the title was, they basically misled the public. Nobody listened, and everybody went and bought one. For $250, everybody wanted to find out what the car was about for themselves. It really wasn't a lot of money for what you're getting, so everybody really bought it. And the end result is everybody loved it. So the first lesson we learned is content creators are not good for the hobby business. They're really not. A lot of them are just full of shit. Some of them, or most of them, are getting sent free products. Traxxas doesn't send free things, as far as I know, to anybody. So sometimes that really affects the reviews. And people, anyway, they're just looking for clicks and advertising. So I'm here to just tell you how to set up your Minimax so it's going to drive the best. I've been doing this for 25 years. I have a lot of happy customers. I've upgraded dozens of these cars. Now, I've put motor systems that were too powerful, like the Valenian. I put them in the car with 3S. No problem. If a customer wants it, I will do it. But a customer, his name is D. Ross. He used to race for Mugen back in the day. He called me up and said, Mark, put together a Minimax that you think would be the best as far as handling, just enjoyment, fun factor, all that. And he said, you know what, I don't care about the money. Just do what you think is going to drive the best. So this is what we have here. This is, in my opinion, what I'm about to show you is, in my opinion, the best driving configuration of the Minimax that you can do today. And you'll believe it or not, it's not the most expensive. It doesn't break the bank. It's not ridiculous in its power. It's going to handle and drive perfectly. So let's talk about the motor and speed control, because that's really the heart of the car. So the Hobbywing 3652 motor is perfect for this car. It fits right in there physically, and it's a 4,000 kV motor. It's got just the right amount of RPM versus torque to power this car. It'll push the car to about 40, 41 miles an hour, and it's perfect. It's about 10, 11 miles an hour over stock. And for a 16 scale car, trust me, I've been doing this for a long time. 40 miles an hour is the sweet spot. That's where you want it, especially if you have a car with a GTR upgraded shocks like this, where it's going to, the handling is going to be improved. 41 to 42 miles an hour is perfect. For the speed control, we had to get something that was going to match the footprint of the Traxxas speed control, and that's the Quick Run 10BL120 G2 from Hobbywing. It's 120 amps. It's definitely a lot more capable than this speed control in here. You could actually, I think, do 4S on this, but we're not going to go anywhere near that. We're going to stick with 2S. The stock 2S battery is perfect. The size, the runtime, everything. It just fits in the chassis. You don't need anything better than that battery for this motor and speed control setup. So we also wanted to make the car a dot faster for the customer. So we went from the stock 20-tooth to a 22-tooth, and we put that in. And we think this car, speed-wise, by the way, speed-wise, it has to be together with the GTR shocks. Now, the Ultra shocks are really good. However, the car drives noticeably better with the GTR shocks on it. The GTR shocks are about $80. They come with a 30-weight oil. They have just the right amount of volume in the oil. They have the right springs, and when you drive the car, it drives so much better than the stock that, in my opinion, you don't even need the gyro. Um, so yeah, so the this motor system together with the GTR shocks is going to make your car. It's going to drive fast enough where it's really exciting. It's going to take it just over the edge of the handling where you could have a little fun with it. But it's not going to be something that's going to drive like a cartoon or a character. It's not going to be an over exaggerated version of a monster truck, which is really what you don't want. That, to me, that's not fun. And the other thing that happens when you do that is you start breaking parts in the differential, like they did in those content creator videos. You break differentials, you break everything. The car just starts falling apart because it's not designed for that. Hundreds of cars go through my shop every month. I have a lot of experience. I'm telling you that it's the wrong motor and speed control for the car. You have to trust the hobby shop owner, and the one that cares about his customers, fun. I care about the fun factor of the customer. It's not just about making money. I make a lot more money on the Valenian system than the Hobby Wing. And you know what? I'm not pushing that because it's really the wrong motor for this car. Another thing we want to talk about is the differential, the center differential. Now, the center differential is definitely an important upgrade for the car. Um, so Traxxas makes a center differential. You're going to need two other parts with it, which is a shorter center shaft and the pinion gear that goes against the ring in the differential. Those three parts make up the center differential upgrade, and it just makes the car handle a lot better. You're going to have to trust me on this. You're going to need it. Um, it's really much better, and it also takes a lot of the strain off the drivetrain, like the rear differential. It'll prevent the rear differential from exploding on really abusive type of use. Now, one thing you want to note when you're driving this car, you want to make sure if you're coming off a jump to let go of the throttle right before you hit the ground. If you watched some of the content creators on YouTube when they broke the differentials and bragged about it, there were actually I actually saw 3 instances where Tom Lee RC jumped the car, landed the car with full throttle. You could see it in the video. If you land an X-Maxx with on full throttle, you're going to break it. It doesn't matter what car it is. It is not a deficiency in the car. It's just bad driving. So when you're driving the car and you're coming off a jump, let go of the throttle, and your differential is going to be fine. In any case, the center differential is definitely going to take a lot of strain off the diff, and it's going to make it last a lot longer. It's also going to make the car drive a lot better. So we recommend that. Now, once you're doing the center differential, I have to mention something because I'm going to tell you about a free upgrade on the car that makes the car drive, I would say, 10 times better than stock. And it's a free upgrade. It's very simple, and it has to do with the tires. So the tires on the car are two different compounds. A lot of people don't know that. The front have a harder compound, and the rear have a much softer compound. I think Traxxas did that because they wanted the car to be like a wheelie centric type of car, like a fun machine where you give throttle and it kind of flips over and it pulls wheelies. For most serious drivers, that's not going to be the most fun. So what we recommend to do is take the front tires and put them on the rear of the car. And obviously, the car is going to drive a lot better. The car is not going to flip over on its lid. It'll pull up slightly, but it's going to be a lot more controllable and much more drivable. Now, if you want to know which tires are which, you can feel them with your finger. For some people, it's hard to tell. But on the front tires, they put a sticker that says F on the inside of the rim. So in case you taking all the wheels off and you forget which are which, you can see that they're marked. Again, that is definitely going to be a very big part of making the car drive better. And the center differential, together with doing that, really together make the car drive so much more stable, a lot more manageable, and actually is going to drive like a grown-up car, like a bigger car. It actually reminds me of the mid-size Maxx when you do all these upgrades that I'm telling you about here. Now, another area where people go with an overpowered product is the steering servo. So the steering servo for this car, we carefully chose it, and we've actually gone through many different iterations for different customers, and I've come to the perfect servo for the car as far as power, price, performance, all that stuff in one. And that is the Reedy 2513 MG. It is really, in my opinion, one of the best servos for the Minimax. It's got 300 ounces of torque. The transit time is 0.13. It can handle 7.4 volts. It has a machined aluminum casing that acts like a heat sink, so it cools the servo down. It's got dual ball bearings in it. It's water resistant, and it really is a really good servo. It's definitely noticeably faster than the stock 2056. The 2056, as you see here in this demo car that we have in the showroom, this servo has 80 ounces of torque. The transit time is 0.23. And one of the things I really don't like about it is it doesn't center well. All right, so check this out. Let's actually do an actual demonstration to show the centering on both cars. You're going to see that the Reedy servo centers a lot better. So we have this car on. Now look how we turn it to the left, it does not go back to center. You can see that it stays out. When you do the right, it centers well, but left, it just doesn't stay centered. Okay, it's canted to the left. That's going to be a nightmare to trim. Again, that's the 2056 servo from Traxxas. Now this is the Reedy 2513. Now look at this. Not only is it quicker, more torque, but look at that center. You just let go of the steering wheel, centered, perfect every time. It's hard to tell in the video camera, but it's every time this is center. This is going straight, perfect. It really is a massive upgrade for $31.99. It is definitely the servo that makes the most sense for this car. A lot of people are throwing in those Hobby Wing $100 servos. I think it's a 729 MBL. Ridiculous. 500 ounces of torque, steering torque. It's stupid, and you're wasting money. All right, guys, so another cool upgrade for the Minimax is the Response Pro tire. This is an original upgrade for the Mini E-Revo 1/16 scale. This has been out from years ago, but it's a really great tire. The foam in it is a very high quality foam. It kind of feels like a memory foam. Really responds to pressure very well, and it actually bounces back very, very well. Unlike the stock tire where you push in, it's kind of has like a mushy feel. This just feels like a higher quality. Now, the reason you'd want to put this on the car is it's going to make it drive like a mini race truggy. It's a 1/2 inch diameter smaller than the Minimax tire, so it's going to lower the car, better center of gravity. You're going to be able to drive the car a lot faster. It's going to corner sharper, and overall, it's going to feel like more like a racing truck. So this is a really nice upgrade for the Minimax. And if you want to ring your car out as far as speed and cornering and handling, all that, it's really going to be the tire you want to get. Also, the car is going to minimize the way the car pulls wheelies. It's going to really keep the car planted and flat. A lot of people are going to like this as an alternative type of tire. If you want to, just make your car drive just a little bit more racy, you can check out this tire. Anyway, this is, in my opinion, the ideal setup for a Traxxas Minimax. Really, really nice. It drives incredible. It does not break the bank. It is not a system that's going to overtax your drivetrain. It's going to take the car, like I said, it's going to push it just over the edge, but not too far. And with the GTR shocks and the motor system, this car is going to drive phenomenal. I can't stress enough how enjoyable this car is to drive in this format. I've driven cars that are a lot more powerful, and they're really a waste of time, and they're not fun at all. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Have a great day.